So we're up here at the beautiful golf club at Rancho California in Marietta, and we just had some awesome storms roll through the last couple of days. A little hard to see with the clouds, but the views that we get up here are magnificent with the snow-covered San Jacinto Mountains and Big Bear. Pretty awesome. So it's a gorgeous place. You guys got to come check it out when you get a chance. Today we're going to be going through how to practice using soft hands, soft arms. A lot of short game stuff today. We're gonna go through some techniques and just some visuals and see if you can attach some feels to how to be soft around the greens. So we're not just blasting wedges and hitting stuff hard. We're gonna slow the ball speed down, slow the pace of the stroke down. So we'll go through some tips on how to practice to be a little bit softer with your stroke. So I've got just a simple little chip shot, a couple steps off the green, about 20 feet of green to work with. Greens are running fairly quick at about a 10. And all I'm trying to do is get the ball on the green as quick as possible. And the motion that I make feels a lot like my putting stroke, but I've got a 9-iron, so I'm doing a very similar rocking of the shoulders, very little wrist loading, chipping with loft. So it's just kind of scooting the ball along, and the pace of my arms are very soft. My body moves very little. I don't need my body moving a whole lot, just as if I were putting. So the tension that I feel in my grip is maybe about a 3 or a 4, just firm enough to hold the handle so it's not too loose, but I'm not gripping it tight because I'm not trying to hit down on it. I'm basically just scooping it off the turf, mostly letting my shoulders rock, getting a little bit of load in my right wrist, but not much. So I can give it just a tiny little tap at the bottom. But the point is, when I practice, I like to be very soft around the greens. My wrist conditions are soft, my grip is very soft, my shoulders, the tension, my arms are just hanging, and I'm just letting the club just skirt across the ground. I'm not having a descending blow. I've got the club face open, so I'm using the bounce to interact with the turf. I'm not going with the square club face using the leading edge. I'm using the bounce, so I'm open. So when I interact with the turf, the leading edge isn't grabbing the grass, the bounce is just bouncing through the turf, so I'm not getting snagged anywhere, and the ball flies slower when we have a slightly open club face. So if I were to go square club face and shaft lean, which is in a lot of chip shots, I could be coming out pretty quick. Ball's gonna fly a lot faster. In this, I go open. I do stand as close to the ball as I comfortably can because I want that shaft to stand up. I'm minimizing how much around my body the shaft is gonna go. So if I'm too far away, then I'm gonna be going around. I'm gonna try to get as close as I comfortably can. And now it's working just off the rocking of my shoulders. So if I get close and I have the club face open, my stance of course is going to be aiming to the left because my face is open, and I'm just giving it a little pop. And all I'm feeling is how much is being assembled, trying to be as soft as I can with my wrists and my hands, so I'm not assembling and then hitting it, which is also very effective and useful in certain chip shots. But in this particular one, the way I like to practice a lot of my chipping is being as soft as I can. So the ball's coming off the club face slower and softer, so it's gonna land and roll with less spin. So with open, very little body. I don't need a lot of body moving. So what I see a lot of players, even good players, go to, they'll take a lot of loft close to the green, which means they have to make a bigger stroke, which means there could be more room for air. There'll be more loft and more spin. So if I'm gonna hit my 58 from here, it's not necessary because I'm flying that ball about halfway to the hole. It has some check to it, and I don't need it. I do have to hit it harder, so I'm carrying more speed. And obviously there's situations to where I need that, but in a lot of cases, especially for most amateurs, they don't need it. Practicing and developing a different touch and using the right club, and all it takes is exploring what it feels like going with 9-iron, 8-iron, 7-iron around the greens, being very soft hands, very soft shoulders, and bumping the ball, getting it on the putting surface as soon as possible, and letting it run like a putt. And in the beginning, you will hit a lot of balls that are just racing by the hole. So you'll develop softer feels, and that'll translate throughout your entire golf game, especially inside of say 100 yards or 120 yards. When we could be soft arms, soft shoulders, soft wrists, we're really understanding how to flight the golf ball differently, and it'll change the way that you play, especially again, inside 100 yards. When I practice putting, I'll spend most of my time on a straight 4-foot putt. And I'm just holding the putter just leaning against my finger. And I got the putter face where I want it, and then I'm hanging my left arm, and then I bring my hand in and I'm holding it so soft, so all the tension is out of my hands and out of my forearms and shoulders. And right now I'm holding it at about a 1, and that's too soft. Now there's a 2, there's 3, and there's a pressure about 4. And then my putter bounces, and then I go. So I'm monitoring my grip pressure every time, especially when I practice, so I know what tension I'm putting with. And for me, what it allows to do, it allows my shoulders to rock freely and allows my putter to swing freely. So it's opening the right amount and closing the right amount without me having to try to control the face and get it to rotate and release. It's doing it on its own. But if I grip it too tight, if I get in here and I'm gripping it, trying to make it, it's like it's so rigid that my face will shake. So again, even when I'm playing in tournaments, I'll set up and I'll hold it right here. My arms are just hanging off my shoulders. And then I bring my left hand in and I'm so soft, just gently touching the grip. And then when I feel the right amount of pressure, I go. And on a slight uphill or slow putt, I might need a little more pressure in my grip, so it might get up to a 6 or 7. And certainly on a fast downhill, that might be something as soft as a 2. And that's all governed by what does it feel like. But when I practice, I'm practicing just like with the chipping, being very, very soft with my grip pressure and the tension in my arms. So the putter's allowed to swing free. Building your putting stroke, it's a lifetime process. For the last 20 years or so, the time that I've spent up here hitting a 4-foot putt, because I'm trying to build belief and repetition in my stroke where I don't have to try to manage it while I play. I know what I have and I know what I'm gonna get. I can only get that if I spend my time repeating a motion that I believe in and establishing feels to where I can trust it and I don't have to mess with it. If I sit here and I miss, it's like I want to know why. If I've got a 4-foot straight putt and I missed it left, it's like I don't just drag another ball over, especially if there's a trend. It's like, what happened? Why did I close that face too soon? Was it mental? Did I get involved for some reason? Why didn't I trust it? So the drills that I'll do to build trust into my stroke is I'll set up to this 4-footer, I'll get the line, I'll get the face, I'll get my grip, and just before I take the putter back, I close my eyes and I'm feeling my stroke. I'll do that for 10 or 15 minutes. I might hit 100 or more putts with my eyes closed. And then I'll do a putt where I set it up. I'll draw a line from the ball to the hole and I'll see what blade of grass my ball's gonna go over. And I'll keep my eyes on that blade of grass and I stroke and I keep my body very quiet. It takes my eyes off of it and it's all through feel. And when I keep getting the results and the feel, so those two match up, I'm getting the results, I'm feeling the quality of the stroke and the contact, so it builds trust. So when I get over a putt, I'm not having to like manipulate the face to make sure I make the right stroke. I can trust what I have and let it go. So when I'm reading and committing to lines that I pick, it's like I don't have to try to guide my stroke to get the ball to roll over that line. I'm allowed to just let it go, which is going to be a much more quality stroke and put more quality roll on the ball. My kids used to watch me play in tournaments and they'd see if I'm missing putts or chipping poorly. They'd see the tension and I'd be like, come on. And they were like 8, 9, 10 years old and they'd be like, Dad, it's like you're holding a baby bird. And I'm like, you're right. So it took the tension out and I soon started practicing that way, just being soft with the tension and grip pressure in my hands, which took out all the tension through my forearms and my shoulders. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Send a message if you want, click the like. See you guys around. Thanks.